Hello, this is Roland. Today I want to stop by, try to keep this video short, and tell you about my new meditation. Well, it's not a new meditation, it's the same meditation, but I'm giving it a little different name. I'm calling it meditation for hard times. There's a lot of different things I could call it. I'll just call it a meditation for hard times, when things get rough. Really rough, or hard, or concerning. Okay. What you need, what happens to people. Look, I just made a radio program about this. You really ought to listen to it. It's like, I'm calling it Lessons from 26 years on the radio. Some very important lessons that I would like to share with people after 26 years on the radio, because I hear what people's problems are, what their issues are, what their questions are. Okay, so here's what you need. I'll tell you what you need. You don't need more teaching. I was listening to Christian. I love listening to Christian radio because they're talking about things that I like, that I enjoy. But the host of the program was saying, well, study this and study that, and read this and read that, and read this and that. What you don't need more study. You don't need more answers to questions. Why this and why that? See, what you need is something to help you get out of falling into your thinking. See, the human being was not meant to dwell in daydreams. Okay? Imagination. Thinking about what happened, worrying about what's going to happen, planning and scheming. The human being was not made to live in the false world of the intellect, of the intellect and imagination. The intellect has its purpose, and so does the imagination when used rightly. But what most people do is they fall into it. See, they get upset. People get upset because they react to something on the outside, and then that reaction is already a failing. See, it's already a failing. And so the person hides, doesn't want to see the fact that they failed. They don't want to be aware of the fact that they failed. So they escape into thinking. That's the problem with the whole human race. But when you're lost in thinking, then you can be controlled. People feed information into and paint word pictures using language in your mind. And so there you are, thinking about this and worrying about that, and it's stuff that came in from the outside. What you need is to reconnect with your inner ground of good. Reconnect with the wordless word, with the inner light from God. That's what you need, the inner light from God. God gives animals instinct, he gives humans intuition. And by intuition, you can perceive wordlessly. See? So I said I want to keep this very short. So when things get tough, rough, when things get hard, when things are concerning, okay, that's when you need more than anything else to be in reality, so that you can objectively view the situation, make reasonable, rational decisions, remain relatively calm, okay, not overreact, and then you will be able to make good decisions that will be good for you and for others around you. Okay? But when people are in the habit of escaping into thoughts, say, into imagination, into worries, doubts, and fears, or into daydreaming. And things like movies and music and video games and even, texting and things like that, those are kind of substitutes for, they either enhance being lost in thinking and the imagination, and study, see, also fosters the condition of being lost in thinking, lost in the imagination. And music and drugs and video games and movies and all these things are either substitutes for the imagination, or they help lead you into the imagination. But that's not where you want to be. You don't want to be lost in the imagination. You want to be in reality. You where you can make good decisions. Or not worry. It's okay to be concerned. So what you want to do is not worry. See, but you don't know how to face a tough situation without worrying. See, which is getting lost in thinking. But you know where worrying leads. So you want to be in reality. So that's what the meditation will help you to do. It teaches you how to go in a room and sit still and practice standing back from thoughts so you're not lost in them. It helps you to be in the moment, in reality, in the eternal now, where the birds are singing. Okay? And when you are there, you're closer to God, closer to the inner light. And you're centered. Okay? So God is where thoughts are not. You're not going to find God in the imagination, or in study, or in thinking. You'll find him in the now present, in reality. And you will be in reality, closer to God, when you're not lost in your imagination and thinking. It's that simple. That doesn't mean that thoughts won't still be there. Of course, thoughts can be useful. They have a purpose, but not to be lost in all the time. Imagination has a purpose, but not to be lost in all the time. Okay? And if you're in reality, then you will realize things, you will see things, you will understand things in God's light. And then the thoughts will flow from those realizations. So then the thoughts will be used by and in concert with and flow and be an extension of what you intuitively realize in God's light. So then it all works for good. Everything works for good for those who love the Lord. But when you bypass intuition and bypass being close to God and bypass what you know in your heart, and instead try to hide in thinking and figure everything out there, you see what I mean? That's not good. So get the new meditation. Get it. Practice it. Okay? Use it. Download it. Have it with you. Okay? Could do you a world of good. My name is Roland.